Welcome back, baseball fans. This video is eliminating the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pretty good baseball team, just couldn't get to the playoffs this year. They had a sluggish start. They did not play well in their division against the Reds. They lost 8 of 11 to the Reds, which pushed them below 500. They got through the round of 5 by beating the Mets 4-2, but then they had to go to LA and they couldn't win game 1, and that was it. They finished 20-20. They were 17-20 last year. Their stats are pretty similar to where they were last year. Now, this is a team that won the 1971 World Series, but only 2 of these guys are on that team, so they're still trying to put it together. So the future is looking good for the Pirates. Again, in the early 1980s, the Pirates weren't very good either. So the fact that we're getting closer to the 69, 70, 71, 72 Pirates is a good thing for the organization. Some of the stats that stick out was the closer Dave Justy had 5 losses, and that's going to kill a team when your closer does that, along with a 10.69 ERA. And then Gary Lucas was a setup man with a 5.93. Roden led the National League in ERA at $1.36, but had a lot of no decisions in there and won just 4 games. Steve Blass, rookie year, was good. He got 7 wins. Offensively, Clemente and Sanguillen were doing their typical thing. And they got 9 homers out of Stargell. So the offense, 270, that's playoff caliber or better. It's better than a league ERA. The league batting average and league ERA are better. So the future's looking bright for the Pirates. They'll get rid of 8 of those 84 players. And we'll take a look here at what the Pirates are looking forward to moving forward. Bob Robertson's coming back for more fun. Roberto Peñas is a fringe guy. Hebner. And then Oliver. Yep, these guys are all coming back. Let me turn a lot of these upside down here. Lee Lacy will go away, as will John Walkenfuss. Alley, there's Clemente, Stargell, Alou, Sanguillen. Johnny Ray goes away as a nice second baseman. Candelaria, he'll be gone. Blass, McWilliams will be gone. Roden will be gone. There's Keeson. Brewster will be gone. Justy, Gary Lucas will be gone. So if these 8 guys, do any of them come back in 72 and continue and pick up their career from the early years? I don't believe. No, Gary Lucas, I don't think so. Brewster, no. Roden, not quite yet in LA. I think he's kind of more 75-ish, I want to say. Same McWilliams is later. Candy's later, the Candy Man. I don't think he was there in 72. I'll double check though. Of course, not Johnny Ray and not Walkenfuss. So of the 8, I don't think any of these guys are there in 72. Now, we should have a pretty good dozen here. And they're heavy into the pitching. Excuse me. They're heavy into the hitting. All right, at catcher is, of course, Manny Sanguillen. Bob Robertson at first base, and he also hits more homers against righties and lefties. You can put Roberto Peña at second, though he may just be a backup middle infielder and find something better than that. Hebner at third. Gene Alley still a good defensive shortstop. In your outfield, you got Stargell. You can play him in left since you got Bob Robertson at first. You can play Alou in center, Clemente in right. Actually, Oliver, his best position here is first base, so that'll move Robertson to DH. So you got an entire team here. DH, catcher, first, second, third, short, left, center, right. So obviously what you want to do here is put Roberto Peña and Gene Alley in kind of reserve role. That's about it. So I'm not going to be too concerned of what they do with the offense. Pitching, however, is going to need some work. So Blass can go on the rotation. He pitched over 200 innings, 240. Keeson can go on the rotation. He doesn't only pitch 95 innings. And Justy, well, let's just chalk it up to bad luck because he's got a 3.06 ERA. He just had a horrible run there. So, unfortunately, you got no left-handed pitching at all on your team, and you need three of them. So that is not an easy thing to do. I definitely search for three lefties, at least two lefties, particularly one in the rotation and one in the bullpen, and find another guy who goes in the rotation. So I would start and just build out a pitching staff, and then you got plenty of hitting, and just find some extra hitters later in the draft. Let's take a look at what they have. Okay, so Pirates. This is easily the best team eliminated thus far, and their star is going way up. We have 3 division titles in a row here, and they're in the same division with the Cincinnati Reds, and this is going to be a heavyweight battle moving forward. And you may remember it was the Cincinnati Reds and the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League West during the 70s who kept alternating titles, it seemed, and two heavy teams, star-laden teams in the same division. And that's what I'm going to have in my league, the Pirates and the Reds, assuming the Pirates emerge from the mediocrity they just played in. There is some great talent here. Let's see what we have. Starting in 72, Richie Hebner we already have. We could improve upon him. He's got an 886 OPS here. Clemente, enough said there. Blass, Stargell. Dave Cash is currently on the Ohio Players, and I don't think the Ohio Players want to give him up. Sanguian, Oliver. Vic Davalillo is elsewhere. Bob Moose, he could go in the... Oh, and you have Ramon Hernandez, a left-hander. So we talked about the need for left-handed pitching. Ramon Hernandez has a $1.67 ERA in 70 innings. Sign me up. Give me this guy. Help out Justy in that bullpen. Bob Moose, there's another rotating pitcher with a $1.15. So there's 2 guys I'd take. This is easy. Let's keep going. We could probably do the draft right here. 71 Pirates, the world champs. They were 5th in attendance, though. They won 97 games with Danny Murtaugh. Pop Stargell, Clemente, Sanguian, Robertson, Blass. These are all already they're all on the team already. Oliver. Gene Kleins, who I believe is elsewhere in the league. Kleins at 308 in the outfield. It's a luxury. You're already stacked in the outfield. You got Matty Alou, Clemente, and Stargell. But I could see it. And then Nelson Browse is elsewhere in the league. Any more left-handed pitchers or other pitchers? Luke Walker is elsewhere in the league. How about Bob? Oh, Bob Beals, no. That's not the one you want. Doc Ellis is also in the Ohio Players. Bob Johnson we saw on Kansas City. So from this team, it looks like all their players are already moved around. Let's go back to 70. And you got Clemente, Robertson, Sanguian, Hebner. I mean, the nucleus is all already here. Stargell, Doc Ellis, Oliver, Moose again, Justy. And as far as pitching goes, here's a Bob Veal that can go in the starting rotation as a left-hander with a 3.92 ERA. Luke Walker is actually property of the Seattle Mariners, I believe, so they can't get him. We're still looking for middle infielders. Now, Cash would have been great, and right now, you can't get Cash. He's on another team. Jose Pagan, 265. Let's go back to 69. This is the only team. This is a 3rd place finish. See, they kept this team together for a long time. Clemente, Stargell, Alou, Hebner, Sanguian, Carl Taylor. Who's Carl Taylor, you might ask? Well, he's that guy who hit 340, I think. 348 in 220 at-bats, and he was taken in the expansion draft by Toronto. And Toronto, they're not going to give him up. Moose, Oliver, there's Bob Veal, and Joe Gibbon. Let's see if we can get a picture here. I think this is the one. This is Veal again on the rotation. So it looks like Bob Veal will be your left-handed starter. He'll take Candelaria's spot in the rotation. And there's another lefty reliever. Look at this, Joe Gibbon. But I'm wondering if the 69 Joe Gibbon card was printed by Strat-O-Matic. They may not have printed it. He pitched only 51 innings. I think he would be in the league already with a card that good. Why would he not be in the league? Someone should want that for him just to be sitting there. Here's this Lou Marone. This is Seattle's closer. He only pitched 35 innings, so actually, that's interesting. So if Lou Marone's card was printed and he pitched 35 innings and he's the 10th here on the list, it would suggest that Joe Gibbons' card exists. I got to go find it, I guess, since he pitched 51 innings. You wouldn't print a pitcher of fewer innings unless Strat-O-Matic made a mistake. But hopefully there's a Joe Gibbon card, and he will go onto Pittsburgh's roster. And there you are. That's a summation of the Pittsburgh Pirates. The future is looking bright.